It's the Paris Chong Show.
We have happy stories too. And Nick's going to tell you one right now.
Oh, I mean, should we get back to talking about filmmaking or
Sure.
art?
Well, let's talk about your photography.
Okay, I'd love to.
What is it that you have, this beautiful camera you have
So
here?
I have my M11 here. Um, and do you want to kind of hear my story about how I got into photography?
I sure do.
So around 2016, and this is a big push for like I know that you separate, but
No, we're not separated.
okay, but around I started to
We're not
see.
getting a divorce,
Oh no, we're
are we?
segregated.
No, I'm just saying it's a show about
Okay.
art.
But I started to see these photos online, and this is a um, happy story. And I was like, and these photos of cars, I was like, that's amazing. No one photographs cars like this. These
You
are
love to
beautiful
photograph
photos.
cars.
So I looked up who I found out there was the same guy taking all these pictures, and I looked him up online, and we realized we had mutual friends. So I text or email my friend Ben, who was a pretty big guy in the watch industry. And I was like, Ben, who is this guy, Ted Gushue? And he responds, he's like, you don't know Ted? You guys are going to become best friends. So Ben introduced us and via either text or email. And so Ted says, hey, listen, I have a photo shoot. Why don't you come by? It's at 6:30 in the morning in Malibu. And then we can grab breakfast afterwards. I said, perfect. So at this time, this is about 2017. I was driving this little yellow Porsche, and Ted Gushue is famous for this vintage silver Porsche with these martini racing stripes.
Mhm.
Beautiful car. And it's 6:15 in the morning on a Saturday. I'm going to PCH, and I see his car. He sees mine. He nods to me. I nod at him. He nails it. I nail it. And then all of a sudden, "Meow," and we both get pulled over.
Mm.
The cop could have been a dick about
One
it.
of
He
you guys
was.
should have sped away because they could have only got one of you.
Yeah, I don't think I think taking a speeding ticket, small speeding ticket, is better than an APB.
Yeah.
But so I go to this shoot that Ted's doing, and I figured he'd probably have he's probably got all sorts of his equipment in the back of
Mm.
his Porsche, that like like whatever it's lights or stands or cables or bounces or stuff like that. And all he does is just take out this small camera and just starts doing these photos. I'm like, oh, maybe this is just like a test shoot or something like that. And then, and the point at this point, by the way, I had my only camera was a camera phone, and I used to shoot like a little Canon Elf when I was in my early 20s. That was the only photography that I was doing. I liked photography, but it's the only photography I was doing. Um, and then so does this shoot, and then we go to breakfast, and he takes out his iPhone, the Plus, whatever, puts the SD card, pulls the SD card out of the camera, and we're talking about stuff, and he starts kind of just playing around. And he shows me the image. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. I'm like, he's like, yeah. I'm like, so that's it. I'm like, that program Lightroom. He says, yeah, Lightroom, and like a camera with a 50 millimeter lens. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get into this. He says, sure. So we became friends after that. But so I go online to look up to buy it was an M240. I'm like, oh my God, that's a really expensive camera. Um, I couldn't even believe that a camera cost that much without a lens.
Yeah.
But I kind of looked up and I asked him about this Q thing, which is a little less expensive and came with a lens. He's like, yeah, Q's great. So I bought my first Leica Q, and I've been addicted ever since.
Wow.
And
Yes, he does love Leica.
I
We
do
see him a lot. He loves his cameras.
I do love Leica. I also love cars. I love
You
automotive
do love
photography.
cars and you love watches and you love shoes because I think he has more shoes than me and I'm a girl. So I
I
don't.
do. I'm a Pisces, so I do live on.
Oh,
My feet are very important to me.
yeah. You have very nice shoes.
Well, one of the astrology books said that Pisces either love shoes or love to be barefoot. And I wear flip flops around my house. I'm usually
I
not
love flip
barefoot.
flops. I'm
So,
Hawaiian.
yeah, I'm usually not barefoot. I'm usually in shoes. I love my cowboy boots
Yeah.
or designer
And you
sneakers or
love
stuff
your
like.
watches.
And
Where's your watch?
I do love watches. I bought my
I love
a
that.
Longan Zone, if you guys care.
It's a nice watch. Well, everybody who came on today was a car and watch guy.
Yeah.
Not so much shoes, just you.
I can, but
Yeah, so but yeah, everybody had their fancy watch and talked about cars
yeah, I can. I
and their
mean,
art, and I didn't tell you in time to bring your art, but I'm kinda glad this is here, I think it matches the set.
it's
Isn't it gorgeous?
beautiful.
It's
It's
really
gorgeous.
nice. Do you have paintings?
Have a few.
Because Nick's collected quite a few pieces at, like, a gallery, like,
Yeah.
you're a good customer.
No, I really, it's one of those things. I am a photographer, so I feel like it's important to support
Yeah.
photographers.
You have a
Photography.
good collection from what you got from me.
I
I don't
have a
know what
nice
you're getting
collection
from
from
anyone
you.
else,
Yeah.
but you have some nice stuff. I mean, the
Um,
Sara Lee was amazing, right?
I still love that one.
Yeah.
That sort of Hitchcock vibe to
Mhm.
it.
And you just got a Todd Hido.
The Todd Haida, which my girlfriend and I are trying to figure out where to put that
I thought
now.
you had a place for it
We
already.
think we do.
Okay.
Um,
It's nice.
the what's her name?
Joan Hazeltine.
Yes, Joan Hazelton.
Isn't she beautiful and
She's
elegant?
gorgeous. Yeah,
I know I love Joan.
yeah,
That
no,
piece is gorgeous,
yeah,
and
no,
again, very Hitchcock.
we bought that Joan Hazeltine, which we absolutely
It's amazing.
adore. Yeah. So I have a few paintings, but I'm a photographer. I feel like I need to support photographers.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really photography's in a really interesting place now
Yeah.
because as it moves more towards digital, um, it's closing some doors, but opening others. Uh,
That's interesting.
yeah, I think that
It's
um,
been a little different lately. I mean, there's been a different vibe going on. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it, but I notice it.
I think that the technology at this point has gotten really far. Like when I first started doing photography, I was kind of not, there's certain things I was not getting. So I started shooting on film a lot.
I like that you're shooting on film.
And I still shoot on film. I still love shooting on film. But one of the things that it's a very technical thing, but uh, film up until recently had a much broader latitude.
Mhm.
So there's certain shots that you kind of would just look better on film because I had,
I love all the photos you did in Death Valley.
yeah.
Those were gorgeous. Are gorgeous.
But digital now has a wider latitude
Mhm.
and dynamic
What are
range
you
in it.
shooting on now? Which you have I know you have the
So I
M11.
have the M11, which I love. I just got SL3, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I loved
Do you
SL2.
keep trading up?
Not always.
Mhm. Do you is there something you just kept and you would never get rid of?
My M246 monochrome.
Okay.
I think that has one of the most beautiful sensors of any Leica. Um,
I like hearing that
oh,
because it seems like
it's
everyone was always trading up or
no, it's really gorgeous. I had the M10 monochrome, which I thought was a really good technical camera, but I sold that, went back to the 246. I have the M11 monochrome, which is amazing
Mhm.
also. But there's certain times where I'm like, maybe this will look better on the 246.
You're an amazing photographer. I do wanna have you at the gallery.
I'd
I'm
love
gonna work
to.
you in. Yeah, we gotta figure something out.
I mean, we talked about doing a show with
I was thinking of
Brett.
doing
Brett,
something with Ed, but then Ed just but it was Ed Keating kinda was kept I just thought maybe that would be a better match, but don't worry, I'm gonna have you there, don't
yeah,
worry.
and like I said, we talked about doing a show with Brett Curry and I also. So
Yeah. Brett,
who's
how's Brett?
Brett's good.
Have you talked to him lately?
We text back and forth a lot.
Don't get mad at me, but I put Brett with Jean-Pierre Lafont.
Oh no, really
You know
nice.
why the reason why is because 'cause I'm doing an I Love New York show, so I'm doing vintage New York, and, Brett had already done some
Oh,
modern stuff in New
nice.
York,
Oh, yeah,
color New
yeah.
York, but we'll do something with you with the right
Oh,
person.
yeah, I'd love to.
I was kinda thinking maybe you and Brett Curry, maybe you and Ed Justice Jr., but we'll figure it out. We're gonna figure it out.
I'm not in a rush. I'm not stressed about it. I would be honored to be there.
Yeah, you will be.
I mean, and by the way,
I'm glad you're not rushed and stressed like the rest of the world.
It's the Paris Chong Show.